everybody, I'm Jessicat, and welcome to a video about something interesting I've noticed, which is about the /kill command, or more precisely what happens when you use the /kill command. So if I type /kill at E and then type equals item, you will see that I have killed the block of lapis that I just threw on the ground, and it says in the bottom right of the screen in chat, killed item.tile.block lapis. Now, this is what I'm going to be talking about in today's video because I've noticed that although most of the messages you get when killing items are unsurprising, there are a few that are completely different from what you might expect. For example, if I throw a piece of gunpowder on the ground and then run that command again, you will see that it says killed item sulfur. And this is because gunpowder, when it was originally added to the game, was called sulfur, and then when Mojang decided to change the name of gunpowder to gunpowder, they left it as sulfur in the game code. So this means that there are all sorts of cool little item names left behind in the game code that you don't usually see, but that we can find by killing the items, and I'm going to go through some of the interesting ones today and kind of tell you a bit of their stories. So let's get started. So next I would like to talk about sugar canes, and if I throw these sugar canes on the ground and then kill them, you will see that in the bottom left, it says killed item.item.reads. And this is, of course, because when sugarcane was originally added to the game, it was called reads, and it still is called reads in the game code, and I know some players still refer to sugarcane as reads, and so if that's you, the next time you call them reads, and your friends tell you, no, they're not called reads, it's called sugarcane, you can tell them, no, in the game code it's called reads, and you can be right about that, and isn't that wonderful? There's another item that kind of has the same story, which is the crafting table. The crafting table, as you may know, was originally called the workbench when it was first added, and it is still called the workbench, and so I know some players also call crafting tables workbenches, and just so you know, you are technically correct. Next up are the Azure Bluette. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm sorry if I completely messed it up. And the Lilac, which is somewhere down here. So you'll notice if I kill these two, that they'll say killed item.tile.flower2.houstonia and item.tile.doubleplant.syringa. And the reason those weird names are there is because they're actually the Latin names of the plants. So there you go, the name in the inventory is Azure Bluette and Lilac, but the Latin names are what is in the game code. Next up, I want to talk about the redstone torch. The redstone torch is an interesting one, because you'll see if I kill it, it says killed item.tile.notgate. And I think this is really interesting because a NOT gate is a logic function that is used in like computers and programming and stuff, and it's also the function that the torch uses. So the torch basically inverts a redstone signal, we all know that, and that function is called a NOT gate, and so in the game code the redstone torch is literally called a NOT gate, which I found interesting. Next up is my favorite because I find the story quite interesting, and it has to do with actually a few items. So you'll see if I drop this piece of wool on the ground and then I add all this leather armor, you might know what I'm getting at, that if I kill them it says killed chestplate cloth, leggings cloth, helmet cloth, boots cloth, and cloth.white. Now, this one is interesting because wool is the wool block that was killed was cloth, and that is because when wool was first added to Minecraft, it was called cloth. So sheep dropped cloth when you sheared them or killed them, and you could then make armor out of this cloth that you got. So you could make a chestplate out of cloth, you could make leggings out of cloth, and a helmet and boots, and then later on they renamed cloth to wool, and then they decided to make cloth armor made out of leather instead, and that's when they changed the name to leather armor. But in the game code, you can still see the past, where wool is called cloth, and leather armor is called cloth armor, and I think that's a really fun one. Last of all, I've just got some interesting trivia for you. We have netherrack, soul sand, the jack-o'-lantern, and glowstone. All of these have interesting names if you ask me. So, if I kill them, you'll see light gem. Light gem is what glowstone is called in the game code. There's not really a particular reason for that as far as I can tell, except it's a gem-like block that emits light, so that makes sense. Then there's hell rock and hell sand, which are the names of netherrack and soul sand respectively. And that of course also makes sense because netherrack is a rock that is found in the hell biome, because if you didn't know, the nether is literally called the hell biome in the game code. And hell sand is the same thing, where it's a type of sand that's literally found inside the hell biome. But I just found it interesting that in the game code they were called hell rock and hell sand instead of netherrack and soul sand. And finally, a little fun fact for you, the jack-o'-lantern is actually called a lit pumpkin, which makes sense because it's a pumpkin that is lit, and I think it's pretty lit that it's a pumpkin that is lit. And okay, I'll stop. Oh, and also, one last thing before you go. Dark oak is called big oak for whatever reason. Basically, anything that is made with dark oak wood is actually called big oak in the game code, so you can surprise your friends the next time you see them with that if they also play Minecraft and they'd be interested in that kind of thing. Other than that, that's basically all I wanted to show you. I personally find this very interesting. I'm sorry if you didn't, but there you go. I've showed you a few interesting item names that are in the game code, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have something interesting to tell your Minecraft player friends, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!